The only way to go was through the deep dark forest. Forest मतलब जंगल में क्या आता है? शेर और what do you call an ullu in English? How do you spell it? Spelling बताओ, then I'll tell you. हाँ जी, how owl, very good. OW का sound होता है owl. अगर मैं किसी को मारूं तुम लोग क्या बोलोगे? आउ बोलोगे ना? वही वाला आउ.
It's mid-November and the beginning of another harsh Ladakhi winter. Tukla is just 27 houses scattered around a mountain bend. It's already -5 degrees outside and none of the houses have any form of central heating system. They make do with the traditional bukhari or stove. 8-year-old Jigmit Angmo is getting ready for school. Her brother and she study at the government middle school in Tukla. Their 4-year-old sister lives and studies in Leh in a private residential school. Their parents believe the local school does not impart quality education. So they send at least one child to a more expensive private school. Thank you. There is no school bus or public transport here. These children trek for 20 minutes to school, while there are others who take up to an hour. It takes a day to reach Tukla from Leh, the capital city. Travelers from all over come to Ladakh, but almost no one visits remote villages like this one. Tukla has no cellular network. Newspapers don't reach here, and TV is their only connection with the outside world. But not many houses have one. The students here take turns to keep the school keys. They come in before their teachers, open up the school, and get ready for morning assembly.
mulberry bush. Here we go round the mulberry bush on a cold and frosty morning.
23 students studying up to 8th grade share just 2 classrooms. Even those are too dingy and cold to sit in. The alternative, however, is not very comfortable. The private schools these children's parents aspire for have better classrooms, libraries, computers, and internet connection. The children at middle school Tukla have a surprise visitor today.
किसको coloring पसंद है? Yes, yes, हाथ ऊपर.
17,000 Feet Foundation is an NGO that works in the remote village schools of Ladakh. They build libraries and undertake workshops that encourage children to use their imagination and creativity. Most of the teachers here are from other remote villages, and some of them come with young children in tow. Understanding the problems they face in running the school is important. Their partnership is key to building a library and creating a culture of learning.
बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है यहाँ पे एक्चुअली बस भी नहीं चल रही है हमारी ये सर्विस जो है हर मंडे चलती है वीकली अभी वो भी नहीं चल रहा है क्योंकि कह रहे हैं कि लोग कम चलते हैं बस में तो बस वालों को पैसे आते नहीं इसलिए बंद हो गया सुबह जब हम आते खारू तक टैक्सी में आए उधर से फिर टैक्सी करते हैं हम 3-4 टीचर हो तो टैक्सी लाते एक टीचर 600 रुपये अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते हफ्ते में
"17,000 Feet" trains teachers in a specialized library management system, which helps them monitor the progress of a child. The books are categorized into green, red, orange, and white. Greens for beginners and whites for advanced readers.
Okay. Now, if you see this, you've got 4 colors here. आप अगर सिर्फ इन सब का फर्स्ट वर्ड लो, आपका क्या बनना है? ग्रो. इसका मतलब बच्चा जैसे ग्रो होता जाएगा, वो उसका लेवल बढ़ता जाएगा. Now let me show you. लेवल रेड GR. R का दूसरा लेवल है. जी. थोड़े ज़्यादा. 3 सेंटेंस, 4 सेंटेंस. ऑरेंज. थोड़ा ज़्यादा. आपकी टेक्स्ट बुक्स में इसमें ज़्यादा इससे ज़्यादा है कि नहीं? 6, 7, 8 में इससे ज़्यादा है. लेकिन वो देख के बच्चों को स्विच ऑफ हो जाता है कहीं पे. लेकिन इसके साथ ये कहानी है. एंड देन इफ यू सी ये तो हाईएस्ट लेवल है. ये ऑब्वियसली पिक्चर्स आप देख रहे कम है स्टोरी है बहुत ज़्यादा रीडिंग है. दीज थिंग्स बिल्ड देयर नॉलेज जी इंटरेस्ट. And if they're interested in books, then they'll stop feeling scared of the textbooks that you give them. है ना?
The teachers cook the midday meals here, a frugal plate of rice and lentils. After feeding the children, they prepare their own lunch. By the time they finish eating, it's well past the lunch hour.
डायनासोर्स के बहुत अलग-अलग टाइप होते हैं. कई बहुत बड़े थे. उस दीवार से लेके उस दीवार तक इतना बड़ा होता था डायनासोर. Okay? How do you know which dinosaurs ate meat? How will you say it in English? They have sharp teeth. They have these canines. Canines with sharp teeth. Shall I show you dinosaurs which don't eat meat? Sun, Mars, Saturn.
Dumping books and leaving is not enough. Through reading sessions, workshops, and quizzes, 17,000 Feet helps children discover things outside their curriculum from the books. And they hope the parents and teachers see the value a library adds to the village school. Traveling between schools is not easy in the severe cold. The 17,000 Feet teams have their hands full, starting up cars, packing the racks, books, and supplies. Usually 2 teams are on the road for a month or more, traveling from school to school.
problem.
The journey itself is never uneventful. A blockade could take anything between a few hours to half a day, stretching into the long hours of the night. But there is always respite, because no two bends in Ladakh ever look the same. Hanle looks deceptively flat, but it's actually at an altitude of 15,000 feet. Atmospheric clarity, lack of pollution and stray light from human settlements makes it the ideal site for the Indian Astronomical Observatory. Scientists from all over visit Hanle, and the staff manning the station is from the premier technical institutes of the country. Ironically, the local government schools are as rudimentary as the last one we visited.
L-U-N-C-H Lunch money? Lunch money chizano? Lunch money? Nimizara. Goma chizano hoy. Goma chizano da sama to say. Gomzala chizano? Oh, Gomzala chizano? D-I-N-N-E-R, dinner. Mostly we have quite good number of people there having nomadic life, and those who used to stay here permanently, they have just on a farming work only. And now they have many parents used to go to Grief because we have a road construction coming over.
GREF, yeah.
They are going to that to earn some sort of
income.
Yeah. In these areas, still parents are not awakened at all in the field of education. Because if their son or daughter, if they got fail in class 10, they used to let them in as a labor work to earn something. No.
Coming to the Puga, I see the most problem that I see, the parents are actually illiterate.
Sure.
They haven't studied, they don't know, live that side. Especially the nomadic residential schools of students, their parents, they are all are living in a nomads. They are living in a tents.
Sure.
जो हमारे यहाँ चंपना लोगों ये गांव में यहाँ घास आता है ना, ये जैसा गांव में एक महीना बैठेगा, ये गांव में एक महीने के बाद ये घास खत्म हो जाएगा, फिर एक गांव में जाएगा, उसमें घास में काटा ठीक है, उसमें एक मिनट 1.5 मिनट बैठेगा, फिर और ये ऐसे घूमने जाते टेम्पो लेके.
Over 120 students from nomadic families study at the nomadic residential school at Puga. This used to be a mobile school that travelled with the Changpas or nomads from valley to valley. Over time, there was a need for a practical solution, a residential school where the Changpas could leave their children the whole year round.
बुद्धि हम थोड़ा जानता है.
हाँ जी.
बुद्धि में थोड़ा जानते था उसमें बच्चे में थोड़ा बेकार है. इंग्लिश किसको पढ़े, हिंदी किसको पढ़े, उर्दू किसको पढ़े, ये सब ऐसे करता है.
तुम्हारे घर में कितने ऐसी गोट सब मिला के? 100. एक है.
100. When I came here, I was like, how can I stay here where there is no village, only the school building, just the mountains, the water following. But once I started here, first day at the school, seeing the students, the staff members and all, I like, ekdam se, I get involved with them. Then I slowly I forget my times I spent at Leh and started enjoying.
Even in our school, we don't have enough teachers at all.
I see.
We have got only 4, and including ones that were ICT, we have 5. all the local teachers here, they also don't want to work in, if they used to work in one school for many years, they also getting bored.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why I think in case of resources, means teacher resources are very less in this area.
There are 963 government schools in Ladakh, and 370 of them are in Leh district. In 2011, 17,000 feet mapped all of these schools, travelling by vehicle or on foot. The problems are the same in every school: poor infrastructure, lack of good teachers, and paucity of funds. But almost everywhere, the children are eager to learn, even if they don't have the resources. And their parents are desperate to send them to a better school. This insight led to the idea of building libraries for schools with the help of traveller volunteers.
What we're trying to do is make the remote school more palatable, much more acceptable, much more happening for the local village.
मेरा एम डॉक्टर है.
अच्छा, तुम्हारा एम डॉक्टर है? वेरी गुड. तो चंडीगढ़ में तो फिर मेडिकल स्कूल ढूंढोगे, मेडिकल कॉलेज. वेरी गुड. तुम्हारा, तुमने कुछ सोचा है? टीचर बनेंगे वापस पुगा में आके टीचर बनेंगे.
They are more energetic, they are more, willful to do at the remote areas. Because in remote areas, the kids or the students are very, the education are very at low level. I feel more, sympathy, or I feel more encouraged to do best to the remote areas than to the children at Leh.
ये और इसके बारे में है. कोई भी एक चूज करना. Do you think it will benefit the children if they get exposure to some workshops, or if outsiders are able to come in and teach them some new things?
Yeah, I think it will benefit tremendously, because whatever is in their textbook, if they see it practically, it will be struck more permanently in their mind, I think that will be very important. But in case of our area, we don't have any such facility,
There's a door, open door, very good. Darwaza band kar do. That's a window, very nice. ये क्या है? क्या है? बताओ. Light. Street light. Very good. Ladies finger with potatoes. दिखाओ बच्चों को. He's got a big fat. क्या मिला उसको? आलू. Big fat. आलू मालू कालू आलू. Very nice. Give him a clap, please. Very well done. Thank you so much. The teachers are opening up the library to the local village. So villagers, those who can read, are coming up and saying, "Can we borrow a book?" And not just that, children who belong to a village but who study in faraway cities of Leh, when they come back home for the winters, which is a good 3 months, they are also coming in and borrowing books from our libraries.
Winter is approaching, and soon schools will shut for 3 months. This long break affects the children's studies. Many forget what they had learned in the earlier session. The parents, being illiterate, are unable to teach them at home.
बच्चा 2 महीने में तो पूरा बेकार हो जाएगा. 3 महीना पढ़ाना तो पूरा भूल जाएगा. ट्यूशन में दे देगा. खेलते सारे. तो 2 महीना ट्यूशन देने से ठीक होता था.
तो वो आप उनको 15-16 हज़ार देते हैं और फिर रूम भी देते हैं कि रूम का वो भाड़ा दे देता है?
रूम देता है. सारे बच्चे की तरफ से हमने लकड़ी भी दे लेता है. सारे गोबर देता है वो टीचर को. 2 महीने के लिए गोबर पूरा लकड़ी देगा.
अच्छा.
If the parents have got enough income, even now they are preferring to send it to private schools.
Okay. If they have the income.
Yeah. Otherwise, they have
Leh.
no option. Yeah, many of our students are in Leh. Those who have got enough incomes, parents. Otherwise, they have to keep the student in our government school.
In these remote villages, young families are migrating to Leh or even outside Ladakh to send their children to better schools. Over time, this trickle could become an exodus. Unless the local schools embrace change and add more value to the lives of students. These women are from Skidmung village, travelling up to the Skidmung nunnery to help build toilets as a community service. The nunnery teaches chomos, or Buddhist nuns, and young lamas. It's the last stop for 17,000 feet this winter. By design, the nunnery is situated far from the already remote villages, to give its students the much-needed seclusion. Skidmung nunnery lies atop a glacier at 15,000 feet and faces a long and harsh winter. The nunnery houses 28 young chomos and lamas. Some of them are about 16 or 17 years old. There are 2 older nuns who we did not meet. They are currently meditating in seclusion for over a month. The youngest child we met in the nunnery, a lama, is 4 years old. As young as some of the children sent to private boarding schools in Leh. An abandoned child, he is now in the care of the nunnery. The older students of the nunnery become surrogate siblings and parents for the very young.
हमारे प्लैनेट का नाम क्या है? अर्थ। सन की गोल गोल अर्थ घूमता है। मैं और भी दिखाती हूँ, ये देखो। एक और प्लैनेट यहाँ पे है, जुपिटर। ये दूसरा प्लैनेट है। 8 प्लैनेट्स हैं। कितने प्लैनेट है? 8। ये देखो, ये सन के बारे में। This is about the sun. ठीक है, सन में कोई नहीं है, लेकिन सन के
The nunnery follows a different syllabus. It does not include science in the curriculum. But the students are as curious about the world they live in as the children in any other school.
What was interesting, we were showing them something on planets and the nuns were so interested. And just by way of a conversation, just by way of an interaction, it'd be so wonderful for them to learn about this stuff.
The chomos and lamas hardly interact with the world outside. Except for going home for 10 to 15 days, they're required to stay in the monastery all year round. It takes some time before the children open up to the outsiders. Skidmung is different from the schools we visited and the ones 17,000 feet works in. Their curriculum and seclusion is by choice, and they don't need the kind of intervention an NGO offers. But the children love the books in their new library, and their Guruji and teacher feels this short interaction with the outsiders is good for the young chomos and lamas. Everywhere else, the schools will shut now, only to open in March again. But libraries don't shut for winter, and books are always open. All the children have to do is pick them up and start reading and discovering worlds beyond their Snowdon hamlets.